Where we going on the wheel? We're gonna go. We going entertainment. We going like political. I know people don't like to be political and stuff and talk that, but you know, still gotta. It's part of life, so we gotta talk it a little bit.
All right. Let's start with music. All right. So I was thinking about it this week.
Oh, now my lane.
Yeah, this is not good. But I know it's probably been talked about before. As far as R&B artists or hip hop artists, okay, if you're a rapper, so you come out as a rapper, and then you transition to R&B, does that hurt your brand, or does it help you expand more to an audience? So, just to give an example, we'll give Drake an example. Mm-hmm. So Drake, from what I remember, he started as a singer. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, he came out as a soul R&B singer. I really didn't see him as a rapper.
His first mixtape was he was rapping.
But he was singing a lot to those songs.
As far as I know, yeah. The first thing, like when I hear people talk about, the first time I heard him, like The City Is Mine, I think the song called City Is Mine, and What We Do, I think that's the title. He's rapping. He's not singing. There's none of that. He's like rapping. But the singing and rapping part came, I think, with You're the Best.
You're the Best.
Yeah, and maybe the mixtape before that. What is it called? Is it So Far? Not So Far Gone. So one where you see him, I think he's standing, he's like in a jacket or something. Or whatever.
Man, it's comeback season.
Comeback season. See, thanks. You see it? Listen, but you guys know that. You guys, that's the first one, right?
But did you?
Comeback season. Okay, that's the one. I don't know if he was singing on that one though. He might have been. That might have been where it could have been. But as far as I know, he came out rapping.
But did you always see him as like his contemporaries, like Lil Wayne or Jay-Z, or did you see him like more of a soft rapper?
Okay, listen.
Especially when he came out, because he mixed that whole.
Yeah.
He was the first one, but he mixed that rapping style with the singing.
See, remember when like I say, I know I might have said this before, but when I knew about him, I did not know him as Drake, like I said. Jimmy Brooks, Degrassi, that's where I first knew about Aubrey Graham. That's who I knew him at. I didn't know about none of this stuff was going on. Obviously, he was young then, so it could have been building up in him, but none of that stuff. Even on Degrassi, he didn't. There was no like some shows they'll promote someone that they're a singer or that person likes to sing or they're gonna drop an album in their real life or whatever. There was none of that. He had a couple episodes where he might have rapped a little bit with whoever his girlfriend was at the time on the show or whatever, right? But there was no, okay, you can see this guy's gonna try and do music or something. I didn't see none of that. It was after it was done. I just heard on the radio. I just heard the song. It was What We Do or whatever. I'm like, that sounds all right. That's okay. I didn't know who it was, and I think after that thing I heard it, it was like, Degrassi, Jimmy Brooks, like raps. It's like okay. And at first I was like, it's all right. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like was hating. Not hating, but was like held back a little bit. And I'm like, another freaking actor trying to rap or something like that. I was like, but it wasn't terrible. Like it sounded nice. Like it was good. So I was like, okay, it sounded good. And he just eventually came up with more things, and then he dropped this stuff, and it was just like, okay, this is what he's doing.
I feel as if, okay, so if you're saying he started as a rapper, do you think him then incorporating more into the R&B genre, or him singing more on his song, do you think that hurt his image and made him more of a soft person, or to the masses? Because now he's not seen as, because everybody, when you talk about Guns and gang life, everybody knew there was a thing. You know what I mean? Like, if he wasn't affiliated with Young Money and Lil Wayne and those guys, people would still see him as that soft R&B.
People assume. Yeah. That's the problem. We all assume. You see a big buff guy, you're gonna assume, this guy's a fighter, this guy's a criminal, and they're like the softest people in the world. They're the nice. Jaheim. If you were to just see him, you think this guy's singing R&B to you? No. You think he's some big? He's a criminal, maybe not criminal, but like he's definitely some hip hop guy, right? To rap or whatever. Because you look. But then he's man singing to be your lover. And you're like, oh shit.
Don't do that again. stop.
That was good. That was good.
Say that.
that was big.
Say that.
I'm available to, you know, if you need me to sing some choruses or a bridge for you, I got you, you know what I mean?
Ask for a receipt.
It's okay. When it blows up, don't say nothing, man.
All right, so alternatively, then, if you look at artists then like as Chris Brown, so he's traditionally an R&B singer, right? But when he comes out rapping, later on in his career, he started to incorporate some rapping.
That's
And he made that diss track against, was it Quality?
oh, like, yeah, Quavo.
Quavo, sorry. When someone switches like that, even if it's just temporary, does that hurt his brand or does that accelerate his brand for him?
No, I don't think you could. Again, I don't think anything hurts your brand. It's not what you're doing that hurts your brand. I think it's how you do it. There's some people, like you say, they shouldn't. If they're a singer, you sing. Some of people don't rap. Or keep it minimal, and maybe obviously we're gonna know most likely someone wrote it for you, right? Like Mary J. I think she have a rap persona or someone came. She had a persona and she rapped on one of her songs or.
Yeah, but no one.
No, but I'm just saying. Like what I'm saying is like that's cool. She's not trying to be a rapper. She put something in because hey, I think it was called Brooklyn or something like that. Was the rap version of her or something like that. I think it was like a one song on one of her album, whatever. That's cool, right? I know what you're saying, like incorporate it, like they go back and forth.
Yeah.
That's different, but that's what I'm saying. You gotta know you, right? If Mary tried to do that, that might have hurt her a little because people might have started getting tired of it. Like, okay, we don't hear you. But I mean, if the bars are going, but you're gonna know she ain't writing it. So then that would be a factor. Do you care? Because it's Mary. Do you care if she's writing? You know she's not a rapper, but it sounds good. Her flow is nice. You allow it.
At the top of your head, who comes to mind? Who's done the best transition from either rap to R&B or R&B to rap? If you could think of one.
But I don't know if anyone's actually transitioned. I think they just incorporated into their stuff, right? Like, yeah, like, cause like LL, you say was the first to kind of like he didn't sing, but he had that Ja Rule
For the ladies,
harmonized.
for the ladies,
you know, I Need Love, right? Like he's rapping, right? So I'll say he's the first one to kind of do that. Like he incorporated the ladies with rap and all that stuff. Then I guess you could say it was Ja Rule in a sense with the singing, the R&B-ish thing, but again, he doesn't have a singing voice, so you could probably say Drake was the one who kind of like blew it up a little more, that type of style.
I'm gonna add a little bit of controversy, but if we're just speaking to the artist itself and not the legal stuff that's happening behind the scenes, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, Puff. What do you think about it?
Singing? He's singing?
Of course, man. He did some singing songs afterwards. With those girl groups.
Yeah, but he wasn't singing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's not singing. That's other people singing. He ain't singing the whole. He ain't singing.
He's not singing, but there's some R&B-ish in there.
Yeah, no, I thought
he's not rapping, right?
I thought you were talking about like the artists themselves.
He's an artist, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying themselves singing, not okay, I wrote this book, but you're gonna sing it for me.
Okay, well not literally singing, but
that's what I'm referring to, because when Chris Brown's rapping, he's rapping. It's not someone else's. He's writing a rhyme. Okay, you write it for. He's rapping it, where most likely you're assuming he's writing it.
All right.
Right?
So have you listened to the Love album?
Who's up?
The Love album. I did before you went to it. All right. So there's tracks on there that he's clearly singing.
Okay.
And
those
love songs, right?
Okay.
So in comparison to how he started as, you know, the hype man not the hype man, but he brought up Biggie, right? Another artist.
Yeah.
And then he started putting himself in videos, but still rapping, right? As he got older, he transitioned more to those love songs and those songs to girls. So would you think that he transitioned in a successful way from being a core rapper to developing into a R&B artist? He's not considered a core R&B artist like Chris Brown or.
Yeah, that's what's kind of hard for that one, because I don't know. I didn't even really look at Puffy as a rapper. I just come as a producer who just wanted to expand who did some rapping and thing here and there, right? So with him, I guess it was. I don't know if it was a success. It depends on how you look at it. you're looking at numbers, maybe not, because I don't know how great.
Well, yeah, when you compare,
Numbers wise, probably not.
But that's my point. When you compare him to other R&B artists, that's their lane, right?
Oh, then no, I'm not. He's not touching any other art.
Of course not. But as far as someone that didn't start core as an R&B artist or an R&B singer, he's obviously not an R&B singer, but he did create love songs, especially later in his career. He was successful at that point.
Yeah.
In that aspect, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna switch up to what I originally was, and he made lots of money off of it, right? Obviously, Bad Boys was on the decline, so yeah, he must have thought, you know what? Let me try something different.
Okay. Well, to answer that question, basically, I don't think it can hurt you. I think it just hurt. It's how you do it. It's not what you do. So you can try things. It's just how you do it, kind of when you do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys, it can work for you if you establish yourself as this and fans love you and stuff, and you show that you can maybe have a little bit of the other side, then you can go into it. You know what I mean? So I think it just all depends on the artist.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right, that's a good one.
That
All right,
next one you had, I like.
next one.
This is the one I'm waiting for. This is the one I'm waiting.
Oh, no.
I was waiting for it. You damn well know where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
You know where I'm going. But I think I have two answers for this one, which I was talking last night with the wife.
All right, next topic. All right, so next topic on the docket is if you're a music teacher and you're teaching your class and you want them to come up, the project is you want them to come up with an album that was integral to the culture, right? So you want them to say, okay, you know what, I like this album and it impacted me and my friends and the culture by doing this and this for us. What would it be?
Okay, that kind of switched it up. I thought you were
Which one?
okay, that changed. No. Because you have, it's the same, but you added some stuff into it.
Which one would be and why?
This one right here, the same one you just asked.
And
Music
pick up
teacher,
something
I think it was this.
Okay, rewind that. All right, next topic. You're a music teacher, and you pick an album or a project for your class and your students to study, right? Which album would it be, and why?
Okay, so I got two.
You got two.
Okay.
Should only be one.
No, because this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes to the other part the other question you started off with. It kind of blends in with that, right? If you're asking me, for me, like what album for me was important or I think is important to the culture or whatever like that or big thing, I gotta go off the wall for me, Michael Jackson, Off the Wall.
Okay.
Right? I know everyone's going, well, Thriller was the best. But you don't have Thriller without Off the Wall. Okay? And if you really listen to it, I think it's his best, like the best album he had. Right? But if you want to talk about like music and like everything and sampling and this and that, you gotta go, I think Stevie Wonder. Was it Songs in the Key of Life?
Okay.
You gotta use that album. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have that. I think I have that on disc, on CD, like it was burnt off or something like that. So I think I do have that one or whatever. But it's the same album, and I've heard that it's like anytime people talk about one of the greatest albums or stuff like that, people mention like real music heads when they mention that Stevie Wonder album. So I think that would have to be kind of analyzed as an overall, not because I like it or whatever. If it's like, if everyone had to agree on one album to say, okay, this is the album that every teacher's gonna teach, then I think you gotta use that album.
So not to say that it's the most popular album, but how is it important to the culture? Like, give me one example why it would be important for the culture itself, if you have it. So how did it impact you?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It may not impact me. That's what I'm saying. If you want to talk about me, then I'd have to go Michael Jackson, Off the Wall, stuff that I listened to the song, but I ever studied it or was like listening to it consistently or anything like that to be like, oh, okay, well, this and that. But just Stevie Wonder in general is a person you should be studying in music, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's been around for so long, so obviously if you're gonna study him, you're gonna pick an album to study, and that would be the album from him. People say you should listen to. Everyone has an opinion, but I think if everyone had to agree on one album from him, that would be the album everyone would agree on.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. See, I'm not really into I'll be honest, I'm not really into a whole I like songs. I can't listen to album after album after album.
Yeah.
So, if I had to pick an album that probably changed our culture or made an impact on our culture, I'd have to say The Crown. You know what I mean?
I was about to go ahead, yeah.
Like, just think
I hear
about
what
it.
you're saying.
You know, think about it. Till this day, we even talked about it before we started filming. We're still waiting on a Chronic #2. This has been the most anticipated album that hasn't come out yet. So obviously there has been an
Never
impact.
come out.
You know, he keeps teasing you after
That's the whole point now.
But if you think about it,
That's the gag point.
there you go. But if it's something that he can tease, there's obviously some anticipation there. People are wanting to see this come out eventually. That shows you the impact that the first album already had, right?
Listen, if he were to just right now, in the middle of at 6:26 p.m. say, I just dropped Detox.
It's a wrap.
Yo,
It's
and
right.
just mash it up, eh?
Yeah.
Everyone's, and he said, go here and you can get full Detox album right now. Boom, boom, boom.
But the thing is,
It's mash it up.
do
isn't it, yo?
you think him getting older now is going to make people lose interest?
The only people who will be interested will be us. Like
Our
the
generation.
young bucks now may not be. The only the ones that maybe who know of Dre and maybe they've studied Dre and you know those ones. But I think it would only really be our generation. Maybe one just right after us because they'll still know about Dre regardless. Because Eminem and 50, right?
Yeah.
So they'll look at our generation and you know the ones before us. So it'll still make money, right? You know what I mean? But
Do you think the impact on the culture will still be the same, or won't be as strong?
that's the thing. I think it can be
Mhm.
because it all depends on who's on it. If he's blending artists from now
Mhm.
with his sound, is he going to be Dre's sound, or is it going to be a Dre sound mixed with new, or is he just going to have? Is it going to be all him on it? Is he going to have other producers now come? Like it can be that album that can actually maybe bring the generations together, right?
But even if he brings the new generation in, I kind of feel as if that takes away, no pun intended, the potency of the Chronic album, what it was. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear no fast-paced songs. I don't want to hear no lovey-dovey songs with R&B artists just to include them because they're new and they're hip. I want to keep it the way that it was,
But that's the thing that.
but just new tracks.
I get what you're saying, but then he can do, if you want, you can double album it kind of thing and split it and put it into parts and be like, all right,
That's a
this
good
part
idea.
is for the like, it's anyone can listen to it. It's not a like, oh, you can't listen to this because you're new or you're old or whatever. But this section, part A, is gonna be for the 90 heads that this is what they want to hear. You're gonna only hear the like Exhibit, Snoop, no new guys. You're not gonna hear Game. You're not hearing 50. Like I know that's still kind of
No,
us too.
you could put Game of
No, what I'm saying, when we probably thought Chronic 2 was supposed to come out or whatever. I don't know if that's supposed to be Detox, is Chronic 2 or whatever. I don't know if they were out. Like I'm saying, when that was supposed to come out, those artists that were popping at that time had those guys, like your guys. Then you can move up, like you can even move to eras, like okay, 90s, all right, we're gonna go 2000, 2010, I'm gonna get those artists, bring them on. 2010 to 2020, I'm gonna get those artists, and then anyone from there to now, whatever, get those. Blend it, and maybe have some tracks where you do have a Snoop and someone now or whatever, or this person and that person. Like if he really works it, that album could be like
that cultural album.
yeah,
That moves
like
it-
that.
moves
But
it.
I'm not saying it's gonna like bring the new generation, old generation together, and we're all gonna be happy and singing and thing. But it's a better understanding of it. You know what I mean? The young cats won't feel a certain ways, and the older heads won't feel a certain ways. Like it's a blend. It's like, you guys are still doing your thing, but you understand us now, and we understand your flavor and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think, just to close up, I think that, me personally, I'm not into the new rap genre. That's just my personal preference. I'm still old school, you know what I mean? So if you bring in rap, and no disrespect to all the new rappers, but if you bring in like quote unquote the mumble rappers, and you put them on a new Chronic or Detox too, to me it's not gonna go.
It doesn't have to be. They don't have to be on it.
Well, I mean, if
It's still his album.
it's still his album,
right?
but a lot of artists these days, not to say Dre is one of them. Like I think he can actually do a whole album by himself. Me personally.
Dre?
Dre, I think so. But if you bring in new artists,
He don't write his raps.
what's that?
He don't write his raps, does he?
Well,
Some maybe. No, but I don't know. I guess he could take a whole
who's
album.
writing?
I don't know if I could take a whole album of just Dre. He's gonna have to have features on there.
He can have features on it, but I don't think.
He has to.
But I don't think fine. But I don't think he doesn't have to incorporate the new rappers in order for it to be.
No. I hear you. I hear you.
I think he can still keep it old school.
He can incorporate new rappers, but it doesn't have to be the mumble rappers.
Right? I think that'll hurt his. I don't know if I won't say it'll hurt his brand, but it'll hurt the originality of what the Chronic album was to the culture. If he brings in all these new rappers and they're rapping about all this nonsense, you can barely understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like now, if he starts talking about Chronic, people like this generation start asking Chronic, what is that about, kind of thing. So he can incorporate. I don't think it'll hurt because it's Dre. So if he does it the right way, he can incorporate the mumble rap in a sense that we may not listen to it on the album. But if it pops up and we're just, you're chilling, you might not skip it because, okay, he blended it nice. Like it worked with whatever his style is, and he was able to mesh it nice.
At the end of the day, if there's one man that can do it, I think it's Dre. It's Dre, for sure.
Yeah, Dre's one of those guys.
All right, what we got next?
Do I got any music talk?
You have to have the music.
I do. I told you, I need you to make your list. Hold on, let me see what my list is here. I'm gonna go live a little bit later. But let me see.
How's it so far, TJ?
Okay, air all this out too. That's all you. Do your thing, chop it down. All right. What did I put in there? I put the question up in the group, right?
No, you didn't put anything in the group.
I swear I put something there near the end. You might not have seen it.
Raising Boys to Men?
Oh no, I was asking. Oh no, because I was asking you a couple of because it was pertaining to your R&B rap.
Yeah, we could continue.
All right. So
You can edit that, right, TJ?
R&B. So what I was saying was okay. So R&B rap songs.
Yeah.
5 to 10 of your favorite. I want a 10 if you have a 10, but I'm saying you can only come up with 5, whatever it is, off your head or whatever.
R&B rap
5
songs?
to 10 R&B rap song, meaning your R&B songs, rapper on it.
Alright. You know what? Every summer, going? Alright. Every summer was bumping in my car. I like LL Cool J Lounging.
Okay.
And number one, and that's
But that's a rap song. It's gotta be an R&B song with the rap.
Lounging?
Yeah. He's a rap. Total singing on it. It's not
So
an R&B
so
song.
total singing on it could be considered an R&B and rap song.
No, but I want the main artist is singing, and then there's a rapper rapping on it.
Okay, gotcha.
If you can think of any, right, like off your head. I didn't write anything down, so I forgot to write them down. But
All right, what about this one? Mary J. It's only
That's
one.
what I
It's
said.
only one artist. Or can it be a?
oh, no, it's two artists.
Okay.
This isn't a rapper, but the song is an R&B song.
Okay.
mainly.
Well,
It's
hands
just
down.
a rap.
I don't know what song is beating this one. I don't even know what could come up to beat this one.
I know what you're gonna say, but
Method
you're wrong. Nope. That's a rapper
Nah, man.
with an R&B artist. Are you not understanding what I am saying here?
You're telling me that's a track with Method and
I'm not. It's not a matter if it's an R&B song. I said an R&B. Okay, it's an R&B song because it's an R&B artist singing. It's their song.
okay.
Method is not an R&B artist. He's the rapper.
But he's a rapper on the R&B song.
It's his song.
No, it's Mary J. Blige's song. You don't think it's her song? You don't think it's her song? You're
That's all she sings. And how many verses Does Meth have? I see it as Method song.
To me, I don't see it as a rap song. I see it
He's
as
rapping.
I see it as an R&B song, like a couple songs, lovey-dovey
No,
song.
I see it as a rap song.
We need to pull this.
No,
we need to pull this.
See,
No,
we gotta go.
no.
I need your opinion. Think
We
about
gotta pull it.
when you.
All I need with Mary J. Blige featuring Method Man is that an R&B song or a rap song? You see the numbers. Good.
So rap song.
It's an R&B song, bro.
It gives you the R&B flavor to it, yes, because what Mary said. Take Mary J off the song, will you still call it an R&B song?
Oh, she could call it a rap song. But if
Rap song.
but
With an R&B artist on it.
all right. I can't see that as purely a rap song. To me, it's
Why? Because it's what? Talking to a girl? It's a rap song. He's rapping.
all right.
That's how I get it as. Like, if I'm spitting bars and I'm going off on it, you're not calling my song an R&B song. Why? Because I'm singing to a girl? I get it. I get why you can maybe say it's an R&B song. They would probably categorize it as an R&B song too for giving awards, just to give awards. But they'll probably say rap R&B song, best rap R&B collaboration. But it's not going into. I don't think it should be in the R&B. If you're doing R&B songs and you're giving an award, I don't think that should be in there.
Listen.
Because he ain't singing, he's rapping.
Listen. I was 16 years old, right? Broke up with my girl, right?
Listen to a rap song.
Knocked on her window late at night,
Yeah.
and I played the song.
Okay.
You're all.
Okay.
Yo, it's a love song. I got the girl back.
He's still.
I didn't rap to her.
You can still have a love song and you're rapping.
Then it's not considered.
Love doesn't just mean. So you can't have any love in rap?
No.
Are you kidding me? Rap is a style. I'm rapping to you. That's what you're doing. I'm rapping my lyrics. I'm not singing it to you. I'm rapping it to you. So if I rap song about my heart and I'm rapping to a girl, I'm rapping to her. That's what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
but you're strictly rapping. When you incorporate something,
Okay.
when there's some type of.
Doesn't make it an R&B song necessarily.
We're gonna go to the polls.
If an R&B artist makes a song,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and they have a rapper on it, it's still an R&B song to me because that's what the artist is. I base it to the artist. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying you're completely wrong. There's probably some. If an R&B artist just completely raps on their song and their spit,
It's a
then
rap
they can claim it as rap. But remember, because they're rapping about love, you said love isn't in rap, so it can't be a rap song. Then it has to be an R&B because they're talking about love, right? Based on you. But to me, Method, if that's what we're bringing the question to, Method and Mary, that song, to me, I see it as a rap song with R&B in it.
I agree to disagree.
I think you guys are both right, actually.
Okay.
AI.
All right. Yes. What does AI say in here?
The Method Man song, All I Need, is generally categorized as hip hop R&B. I'm sorry, hip hop rap. However, it incorporates funk and soul.
Yes.
So it's a hip hop soul record.
Okay.
All right, you know what?
Okay.
Hold on a second.
I give AI that.
You can't argue with AI. If AI can't dispute that.
I hear that.
But that's what I'm saying. If I'm in the mood, I know we're going on, but if I'm in the mood with my lady or my girl, and we're just chilling and we're putting in a romantic type of move, that song could bump.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Rather than putting on a poor rap song, and
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want the hard rap, but you don't want all the softness. Maybe you want that blend. That's what you get with that. But I still look at it as a rap song that's going soft. No. But as AI said, we're both right, so we'll take that. Well,
what do you have?
that was it. Man. You had all the good ones, man. I'll read off the one of yours. All right, we're gonna fly across the sports world. You ready for that, or you don't want to ease into the sports world yet?
Let's do. I want to talk about.
I know we didn't really actually say our 5 to 10 songs, whatever, but it's okay.
No, you keep going.
You guys can think. No, honestly, I off the top of my head, I don't really have it off the top of my head. I'm not gonna I was supposed to write some of them down.
It was top 5 R&B, right?
R&B with a rapper on it. But you know what? I know it might be hard.
I like the top.
We'll do any duo. It could be a rap song with an R&B or an R&B with a rapper on it. So okay, so Method and Mary obviously is one of yours.
Yeah.
What else you got? I'll put that on mine obviously as one of yeah, it could go out of top 10.
Right. What's that track with that's an R&B.
That's okay.
Alicia Keys and oh crap, I forgot the name.
I can run through her songs.
No, she has a litany of songs though.
Was it a single or album track?
It was off an album. I don't know for sure. Oh, I forgot it. I was gonna say Neo, but that's R&B and R&B.
Neo and Jay-Z.
Neo and Jay-Z, they came up with the track? What's it called?
Crazy. Yeah,
Crazy. What song is that?
It's on which Neo album? I don't know Because of You. That album. It's on Because of You. It's on there, but he didn't make it as a single. So it's like a first track on there.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z opens up rapping, and then he comes in. The song's crazy.
Alright. You can also say Jay-Z and Beyonce, but that's
Yeah, there's
I
a lot.
guess speaking of that crazy and
But I'm talking about is that would you put one of their songs on your top 5? I won't even say top 10. I'll say top 5.
I'll put them in the top 10. I wouldn't put them in the top 5.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they have a song together. I'd put it in a top 5 for me.
See, there's so many songs that you can pull from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's plenty. That's what I was trying to just narrow it down just to make it simple. Because if you broad it, if you make it like that, it's something. It's broad. You can go anywhere. With that.
That's true.
There's lots of songs like there's the SWV. Sorry, off.
There's a track with
I like that. That track is that. Oh, SWV and Redman, they got a track together.
Yeah.
So there's plenty.
one that comes to mind is
SWV and Wu-Tang.
Total and Biggie.
Yeah. They got a couple. Can't you see? Right? Is that one?
Then there's another one with 112 and Biggie.
Yeah. There's plenty of 112 bass.
There's a lot. I think it's that mix or that mashup doesn't hit as hard now as it did back
Oh
then.
yeah.
Like hands down. Like
It doesn't have the same feel.
the hip hop R&B mix, when that was gelled together, everybody was. But it doesn't matter if you're a core hip hop head or a core R&B head. When those two genres mix, every track bumped.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, it doesn't hit as hard. It doesn't have the same oomph.
It doesn't.
Like I can't, to be honest with you, I can't tell you one modern, unless you guys can name one on the top of your head. I can't tell you one modern song right now where there's a mixture of an R&B artist and a rap artist, and then be like, yo, this will live on for years.
Okay, that
Like-
part. Because I was about to say, doesn't
No,
SZA have a song and stuff?
Yeah.
But I get what
But they
you
don't
said.
hit
That
like
live
they did
on
back
that
then.
part. Yeah.
Like those 90s, early 2000 mashups, they don't, nothing right now holds a candle to those mixtures, to those songs right now.
And you'll still hear them. You go to a party.
Yeah.
You'll still hear that.
Trust me.
You'll still hear those songs pop off. That SWV and whoop,
And what made that era even more wicked was back then, it's like, it was like, okay, yo, it's either, like I said, you're strictly hip hop and you don't want to listen to those lovey-dovey songs, or if you're, I don't want to sound sexist, but if you're a female, you didn't really listen to core hip hop rap songs like that. So when that mashup, like I said, was brought together, it did a lot for the culture. And those songs, like you said, right now are still getting played track after track in clubs to this day.
Yeah, because that's kind of, could be wrong, but that's kind of like, on the beginning, that was the early stages of blending, so it was new, right? So it's like, oh, that's crazy, like this person, and sometimes it's your favorite artist,
That's right.
right? So it's like, oh, my two artists linked up and made a track, and oh, this song is crazy, this song sounds nice, and it goes, and again, the emotion and the feeling behind it. Nowadays, music, it's lost that feel because people are just making songs. You gotta pump songs out. Oh, I gotta make this song. I gotta make this song. I gotta make this song. That's why with albums, the first album is always usually an artist's best or most liked album, because that first album was from literally from your birth to the point you dropped it. It's everything that happened from then. So if you dropped your album at 20, you got 20 years of material. Now your second album, yeah, you can do stuff from back. You still have that 20 years thing, but people now might want to look to something different. So it all depends. Now you got that gap. You got to write. What are you doing? Are you going back to still talk about that stuff? Are you going to write about now, going forward? So the material might be a little bit different. Like you can still use the old stuff, but some people would be like, like if Jay talks about the hood, some of us would be like, yeah, that's one here. But some people would be like, you're not broke. Why are you talking about hustling on the block? You don't do that no more.
Yeah.
But then if he talks about rich stuff, I'm not rich. I don't know what's that. I don't relate to this.
It's all about what appeals to the audience at that.
Sometimes you just gotta do what you do.
That's right.
And you know your core audience, they'll follow you, and that's it. At this point, I think that's what some of these artists, like the older heads, like our generation and stuff, that's what that it is. I don't think they're trying to get the younger crowd into them. If it happens organically, they're fine with it. But they're gonna do their stuff, pump their stuff, and reach out to their core, whoever it is. That's what I think it should be, and you'll be able to last.
And you know what I like about hip hop in general? And tell me if I'm wrong about this, but you can mix hip hop with literally any genre and it'll slap. Like you can mix hip hop with rap. You can obviously mix hip hop with R&B. You can mix hip hop with rock and roll. You can mix hip hop with jazz. Anything. And it'll be wicked. You can mix hip hop with opera. You can't really do that with any other genre. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you have to put it in hip hop.
Right. But it'll be hard. Like friggin'
Rock and country, you might be able to, but you know what? That's a hip hop mind frame.
yeah.
Because you're gonna have to figure out, okay, do I take the rock beat and put it with the country lyrics? Or do I take the rock lyrics, put it with the country beat? You gotta figure that out.
There's probably songs out there that have done that, but
I'm pretty sure.
At first, like synopsis, I can't see a rock and a country album. To me, that would sound weird.
Yeah.
I can't see it. Or a rock and a jazz album.
It might be able to work for a song. Yeah, a whole album, like 12 songs of rock and country mixed. I don't know if that could work. But maybe on one track, someone lucks out and just finds the right blend. You might be able to get a track that can work, but too often, no, because I think the country and rock heads, like, they want their music separate. Like, they hate it. You said they hate that Beyonce jumped into their category, eh?
Yeah.
Because
But she won.
and they hated that too. They're pissed about that. Because they're like, which I get, because if someone jumped into hip hop from a different, and just won a category over guys that were already in this, in hip hop doing stuff, and someone jumps in and takes an award, they're gonna be upset. Like,
I disagree with that actually. I think hip hop is actually more open to other people jumping in and trying to rap or trying to sing.
Trying, but actually winning and taking from someone who's been in it, someone will. I'm not saying everyone will be upset. People will be happy, honestly. Some people will be happy, but you'll hear the people, so this person, it's their industry plan, they're this, they're that, because they came. Look at Macklemore when he came and won. I'm not saying he came from a different category, but he came and rap and he beat out. I can't remember that year he beat out, but there was a couple people he beat out where people were like, how the hell? Was it Kendrick? I think he beat, and like a couple people that were like, how's he beat this guy? People were upset. They're like, no, we keep letting in these people, the outside into our culture, and look what happens. They take over and they're winning. I get it. So that's what the country people were thinking.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. So if he made those numbers and he sold those albums and he sold those records, I mean, you have to show his appreciation, give him his flowers.
that's the thing with awards, they go by numbers.
Right, but
Like,
then
you gotta go out there and support your people if you want them to win too, right?
that's true. All right, what we got next?
You want sports?
You can do sports.
You want relationship? here we go. We'll switch it up, like you said. Okay, so does Canada have an identity? Does Canada, I guess the same thing. Does it have its own culture? Does Canada have an identity? When you hear Canada, what do you like?
So this has been an ongoing topic for obviously for years upon years. It's almost as if Canada's identity has to be so much tied into what the States is doing, how they look at things, right? The first thing that comes to mind, obviously, to other people outside of Canada is that we're nice people, or we're too nice, or we're open, we're diverse, right? I think Canada has its own culture, but we're just quiet about it. We're not boisterous. We're not as boisterous as our southern neighbors, right? We're a loving land. We're a loving group of people. I think what hurts us is when we try to be part of. We try to incorporate other people's ideas too much, or you know, how they act. Everyone, I'm flustered.
Don't worry. Okay, listen, I'll give you my answer. I don't think Canada has an identity. They don't have a culture. What Canada's culture is other people's culture. Because when you look at the States, like, our identity is multicultural. If you just to put it into one answer, that's what our identity is. Because
so in a sense, that is a culture.
But it doesn't have its own. It's other people's. Because think about it. What is Canada called now? How do people look at Canada? India #2. That's what they say. It's being taken over by, like, everywhere you go. That's what it is. You see an Indian person.
No, I was thinking it was Canada.
This is not. I'm not knocking it, or I'm not against whatever. Like, I'm gonna run the line. I'm gonna run the line. My grandfather's Indian, so don't worry about that. But in a sense of, yes, if you go into a place, you notice they run it. You go in there, there's one, and they run it, which is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not even knocking them for doing that. That's what you should be doing. But going back to what we're talking about, Canada's identity always changes of what's going on. So right now, because the whole thing with the Indians, whatever, there's a lot of them, people call Canada Little India. If it was someone else taking over, then it would be that. When people talk about where are you from, right? No one really says, they'll say, born in Canada, but most of the time, if you ask a Caribbean person, I'm Jamaican, I'm Trini, I'm Guyanese. They weren't born there, they were born here, but that's what they use as their identity. You ask an American, I'm American. Don't fuck with the background, America.
But that American brand comes with some type of stature, right? When you speak of American, you always think of someone that's boisterous, like I said, or someone that's strong-willed, or someone that's outspoken. When you think of Canadians, we're more of the quiet, like I said,
that's kind of our
respectful.
identity, I guess.
So I think in that aspect, we do have sort of an identity that the world sees us as. You know what? They're a nice group of loving people, right? I think when it comes to the States, I don't feel as if we should try to mirror them.
I think we're kind of going away from that now, a
Actually,
little bit.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's as heavy as before. Like when we were growing up,
Yeah.
it was heavy. States, everything was about states. Because everything was, obviously, price-wise was cheap, and I think that's affecting it too. Because everyone, you want to get something, we're going across the states, you go get your stuff, you know, it's cheaper, blah, blah, blah. But now that the dollar and all that is, it doesn't really make sense. You don't hear people saying as often, I'm going to the States to shop. Like, I'm going to America and I'll shop, you know, get some stuff. But there's some people who went literally just to get stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
And I actually do think with all that's going on right now between, you know, the tier fours between, you know, the two governments, I think now Canada wants more of a separate identity. You know what I mean? I think.
Need one.
Well, I don't know if we already had one, right? But I think this puts more emphasis on why we want to be different than other countries, right?
Yeah.
I think the pride that's coming out now within our country, we don't have to thank Trump for it. You know what I mean? I think
I get what you're saying there.
I think the whole war with tariffs and you know calling Justin Trudeau the governor of the 51st state, that lightened that little fire under the Canadian culture. You know, you know, what do you mean 51st state? We don't want to be part of you guys. We never wanted to be part of you guys. We may have adopted some of your cultures as far as music is concerned, you know, as far as entertainment is concerned, but outside of that, we actually like who we are. So I feel as if, especially now, like even to the whole Drake and Kendrick Lamar fiasco, you know what I mean? I don't want to say it was a states versus Canada thing, but deep down, us on this side, we were rooting for Drake to step up and say something. You know what I mean? So, I think when it comes to culture, we still struggle to find exactly who we are, but at the same time, we don't want to be anything else.
No, that's the thing. Yeah. Canada would definitely say their culture is hockey. I'll give you that. Hockey and Tim's. Hockey and Timmy's. That's Canada's culture.
You know, I want to find out what's the equivalent in the States to Tim Hortons. Because Tim Hortons in Canada run shit. I don't think there's anything in the States that's that popular. Like probably McDonald's.
Oh, I thought you meant like a coffee type of level, like
a food. Like when you think of Canada, like you said, Tim Hortons comes to mind.
Yeah.
When you think of the States, it doesn't have to, it could be food, it could be anything. What comes to mind is, you know what, that's American.
Any food really. Sorry to say, I don't think there's like a specific one, like as we say we can say, okay, yeah, we have McDonald's and all that stuff up here, Wendy's, but yeah, Tim Hortons is.
That's how you
look.
That's our identity, Tim Hortons.
States, I don't know, they have too many.
Yeah.
They have lots of places that and they
There are
like to
lots of
associate
places.
with the state.
There are lots of
kind
places
thing,
that
right?
causes obesity.
That's it.
Alright, where we go next?
Oh, you said, oh yeah, okay, along that still line, if we did go to war, Canada and US, are you suiting up? You becoming a Mountie? You getting them, let's go, we're gonna fight US? Hell no, bro. I'm staying home, I'm not going nowhere. I ain't fighting nothing. Who told you to beef? I didn't tell you to beef. I have no problem.
Something tells me though that this has been brewing silently for years.
We
Like
will
maybe. I'll go down.
As far as I've heard even out of the army, people from the army too, we will lose.
We might lose, but when it comes to fighting for your country, if I was forced to fight, you know, I'd welcome it. I'll take up an AK-47,
Listen, I'm
and
gonna do it.
B-19, throw a couple grenades, but
Coming with my boom box, I'm gonna stand right in the middle and just let's get together, guys. Come on, let's gather together. We are the world. Come on.
I do feel like I said, I think that this is something that's underlying. Like the States has been known to overtake countries. Like we're talking about for centuries.
That's all they do.
That's all they do, right? So is it inevitable? I mean, I would hope not, right? I don't want to see an invasion. But as far as being called to bear arms, hands down, I would do it. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about, you know, my kids. I'm thinking about tradition. I would definitely defend Canada.
We can win.
What's the strategy? Offer them a bunch of maple syrup?
We running up in that north. We bringing them up north with that cold. That's what we gotta bring them in the cold. We get those hardcore polar ice white boys to go up there and we bring this. You guys want a battle? Come up here. They ain't lasting. Some of them ain't lasting.
Well,
Maybe the New York.
I was about to say that. The
Detroit, the border states.
The Chicagoans.
Ain't no Texas man coming up here to battle. Ain't no Florida person. They're done. They will lose. That's how we win with winter.
Yeah.
That's the way how we'll beat the states is with our winter. Because look, when they got an inch of snow, they shut everything down in their place. Everything. We beat that. That's what we need to do.
Well, you also have to keep in mind.
Drop some snow over there. Let them lock themselves in.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Well, you also have to keep in mind, we're still part of the British colony, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not like we'd be by ourselves. We'd
No, I get
we'd
that.
have some help, right?
I get that, but
Would we still probably lose? Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. We're still going to enough places, eh? I know we're not. Okay, so another podcast of shits and gigs that I've listened to. I remember they were talking. I think one of their old ones, and that they were talking about how the British would just invade places and take over. And they were saying there was. I think they said there was 4 or 6 countries that they didn't invade. And if you named it, were like some little places or something like that, something you didn't even heard of or whatever. But so if you got the UK on your side, I don't know. I know now it's completely different from when they took over places like hundreds of years ago or whatever it was, 1700s, 16, whenever they did that.
Yeah.
But again, they said they probably still have a strong army over there. So yeah, if we got them as allies, then yeah.
But again, history is built on getting as much territory as you possibly can. It doesn't matter what country you are. But for me, like I said, if I was called upon to defend my country, give me a grenade. I'm good. I'm good. I'm keeping my family and my sovereignty at the top of my list to protect. So,
Yeah, why are we warring? Why are we fighting?
they want our maple syrup.
Just sit and talk though. Like just talk and help me. Like you fight, take people's lives and you destroy it, and then what? You still haven't come to an agreement.
Yeah.
You still haven't figured things out.
So we're gonna close this up soon. I did have this discussion with Ben. John, what up? And there are some people
on the podcast.
there are some people with the mindset that there are some benefits to becoming a 51st state.
Yeah.
So if you said what you said was talk it out, hash it out, there's no mean to war. What if there were some benefits, like somebody has
There are.
You know, we'd have a bigger army collectively.
Yeah.
Taxes, obviously, Canada has a high tax.
Well, then you need to get rid of the tax in our state. Because if you got states that, well, we getting rid of the tax all through Canada. Remember, see, that's what they're looking at Canada as like, oh, it's a small state. Yo, Canada's a whole. Land-wise, it's bigger than you. Land-wise, it's bigger than you. People-wise, yes, we're getting destroyed by them. But land-wise, we're bigger than you. So you just say Canada is the 51st state. You're trying to minimize a country into a state.
But even then,
That's a disrespect right there.
Preliminary, he says it as a 51st state. But once or if, this will never happen, by the way. But once or if Canada potentially does become a 51st state, even Canada will be breaking up into smaller territories. So you have 51, 52, 53, 54, because Canada, like you said, is so big.
Yeah, we already have
You just
our
gotta
own
keep it as one
provinces and
state.
stuff. Yeah, it can't be considered, because in that, if you're doing that, then what, like, what would Vancouver and what will all these other places be considered? Toronto, what do we call these places now? Like, is it Toronto, Ontario, Canada, USA? Like, what are you writing down in your thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy and all that stuff over there for that part. So I don't think that could work like that. But yeah, we want those benefits. I want that tax. We have no taxes here. I want that same Florida, Texas ability.
But the healthcare system.
Money-wise,
Yeah.
we take. You know what? We running on your stuff. Shit, we're taking your prices.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
The one thing that we also talked
Yeah.
briefly was about the healthcare.
Okay, we gotta blend those somehow.
Yeah, somehow that's gotta, because I've seen these prices that these cats down south pay for as far as healthcare is concerned, and insurance prices. Like, we have free healthcare here.
But
You know what I mean? There are little things that you do have to pay for still, but when it comes to comparison, it's like apples to oranges.
But the thing with the states though, when you go and the only thing I think, I could be wrong, but based on how you have to like pay for your every visit, when you go to the doctor and
That's
stuff
crazy.
like that, but you will get seen because you don't have a bunch of people just going because, oh, I'm not feeling well, let me go to the doctor.
I got you.
You gotta pay, so now you're going because you are actually sick.
I got you.
So you're not gonna have a room of 100 people where really 10 of them is really what really needs to be seen and the rest don't really need it.
So you're saying that the high cost is like almost like a deterrent.
Yeah,
To not
it makes you go
unless it's
because
absolutely necessary.
exactly. So you know you go in there if someone's ahead of you, you know they're ahead of you because they're sick, not just because they're there and they're ahead of you, but I'm in worse shape than you.
Speaking of healthcare, I know this is off topic. But tell the truth. When you go to the hospital, or if you go to the doctor, actually, no, they ask this question when you go to the hospital, and they ask you what's your pain from 1 to 10. You capping when you say 10, just to be seen earlier?
No. I'll tell you. I'll tell the truth a bit, just because I don't know what could happen later on. If I say it's 10, I can go in and then I'm not acting as if it's a 10, or I say it's a 10, but say someone actually does have a 10. Now I'm taking up that spot. Like, maybe I don't know it, I don't know, but say I do find out, then, I might feel a little ways, like, me being kind of selfish about it, where I can actually deal with the pain, but I just don't want to stay here. I now put myself ahead of someone else because of that. I didn't have to come to the hospital. Why did I come here? That's what I'm saying, right? You're gonna avoid that because I had to pay. I didn't have to pay to come to the hospital. I'll go. Oh, shit.
Probably getting myself in trouble in here, but every time I go to the hospital, I say I'm 10.
That's fine. And you know what?
I'm 10. Yeah.
It's understandable. You have your reason why, because I don't want to wait around. I don't want to sit and wait that long.
And I know half of you do the same thing. Like if a nurse, if you're going into the hospital, the nurse asks you, on a scale from 1 to 10, how you feeling? 1 or 2. Why the hell are you here then? You know what I mean?
And
Stay home. May as well say 9 or 10.
And you know what? It might actually be a 1 or 2, but in your head, you feel it's an 8 or 9, so you're gonna tell them 8 or 9, and then they might look at you and be like,
I mean, you can be honest and say that you're 1 or 2, but just know that you're.
But that's what I'm saying.
Putting it back.
You're not gonna go now because I gotta pay for this. I'm only up. Doesn't hurt that bad. I'm okay. I can sit through this one. But now your leg feels like, oh my gosh, I can't even walk on it. You know what? Yeah, I gotta go. Let me go. It's not. You're gonna think about it before, so now you don't have to worry about that crowd. And just people being in there randomly. Now you're gonna get sick because I don't know why you want to just go to the hospital just to go to the hospital now. Like I avoid it. I get to the point where it's like if I can't take it, then yes, I will go to the hospital. I'm not going there just because my little thing. Let me go to the hospital. No, because now you're gonna get worse.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I've gone to the hospital with a sprained ankle. That's something that I know that's something that you can obviously heal at home. But you want to make sure like it's not fractured.
Yeah,
there's nothing else that can happen.
That's
so
different.
with a sprained ankle, even though it's a common injury, if they're asking you what's your pain level, I'm still saying 10. Even though it's a common injury.
It's probably a 10.
Yeah.
Say that. You know what? And they probably know too. Like if I said I went and I twist my ankle, you can see I'm like this, and people are carrying me.
Yeah.
Really, you're gonna ask me to pick like what the level is. I can't walk on it. You should already know the level. Don't ask me what level it is.
And that's where grade 10 drama class kicks in. You gotta represent. You come with the cough, add a sprained ankle in there, add a sprained neck, you're getting seen right away.
Drop down, throw up. That's what you gotta do.
1 to 10, I'm a 15 at that point.
You throw up, they move you up on the board too.
Yeah. All right. What we got next? You go. I'm running out here. Because we're saving a lot of work for last, right?
Yeah, we go sports.
Okay, what do you got?
Because that takes us time, so we're gonna have to like chop that down a little bit. But you know what? We could take a 5-er.
Did I get sports?
Take a 5-minute? Alright. We took a little 5-minute.
All right. Oh yes, I did get sports.
Yeah, you got the sports.
It's current officially legit of all technical conversation.
And so equal airs if you wanna do
Yeah. Because that thing
I don't know what you're talking about. At first I didn't know who this nigga, I thought it was a coach, but then I looked it up and I thought, oh yeah, the GM. Yeah. What you say? That's what they say. That's what they say. You still think he's stupid? That's the question. The Lakers are out.
Whoa, be careful now.
It doesn't do with being out or in.
Okay, save it. I need to hear it. Save it. I hear it.
Right now, man's looking kind of smart still.
Listen, it's the part I think it's what he got back. I don't think it's him getting rid of him. I don't think that's what people are mainly mad at. It's what he got back. I think that's what they're more concerned. Because guaranteed, if this is a healthy Anthony Davis coming back, not being injured, it's not because you're getting defense out of it. You can get points. Okay, maybe you're not going to get like a consistency 40-something maybe that you get from Luka or whatever, but you can get that from him, and you're gonna get defense. It's just because he's always injured, it looks terrible.
You know, some people forget, it was only less than not last year, but the year previous, mid-season, he was a candidate for MVP. Like he was dropping consistent points when he was healthy. AD. Talking about AD.
Oh, 80,
Yeah,
okay.
like he was in the MVP conversation.
Yeah.
Before he got injured, obviously not this year, but if you have a healthy AD, a healthy Kyrie, an on-point Klay Thompson,
I'm pretty sure you get some bench players, some decent role players.
But they have a good
That's
bench
what I'm saying.
team.
They can do some damage. That's what I'm saying. I think they can do better than the Lakers. If they're healthy, yes.
mark my word, Lakers next year, if they keep the same squad, exit first round. Or exit first round or play.
Who do you have? What are you doing now? You got no money. The money's tied up in LeBron and